Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the third day of the third year of the New Earth Summit, India's first integrative summit on solutions to our problems in health, food, farming, and environment. I am Daryl D'Souza, founder of Earthkeepers Connect, your host for this evening, and I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed panelists and also to our audience. Also, on behalf of our 10 Earthkeeper groups in India and overseas, we express our gratitude to you for taking out time from your busy schedules to be with us today and to share your insights and experience so that all watching this live webinar and its recording later may benefit from the holistic science and wisdom being presented on this platform that will all help us co-create a beautiful world. Our topic for today is COVID-19 prevention is better than its cure. The cure that is going around today through the injections called vaccine. So it's a very interesting topic because all over the world, and especially in India, there are so many alternative, treatments to handle what are called COVID symptoms. So we will hear from our panelists today, their various techniques and health practices in this regard. So I will start first with introducing all our three panelists. Nandini Gulati is a natural detox coach, an author, an organic gardener who lives in Gurgaon. She believes that our health and that of the planet are inextricably linked. We are sick because the earth is sick. To remain healthy, we must live in harmony with nature. Nandini coaches individuals to achieve their personal health goals. She conducts health retreats and online detox programs too. She is the co-author of the best-selling book, Guilt-Free Vegan Cookbook, which is a delightful repository of healthy and tasty multi-cuisine recipes from around the world. And I testify to that being, I bought a copy of hers when she came to Goa for the book launch. And I really enjoyed all of the wonderful recipes there. Our next panelist is Dr. Reema Arora, who is a clinical dietitian, nutritionist, and body transformation specialist. She is the founder of Food Synergy, a complete diet and nutrition studio. And her approach is to give customized diet and nutrition plans, keeping a person's medical conditions, routines, and activity on track. She also offers online diet and nutrition services to the people across the globe. Her expertise is in reversing all sorts of chronic illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, thyroidism, weight issues, hormonal imbalance, autoimmune conditions, hair and skin issues, allergy issues, respiratory problems, etc., with an integrated approach. Dr. Reema is the winner of Best Nutritionist Award 2019 and Nutrition Partner with IFI, which is a beauty pageant and fashion web series, and Collision of Crowns, the world's first face-off for crown winners. Our third panelist, Srivijay Anand, has done his MTech from IIT Delhi, and he has a PhD from Academy of Sciences based in UK. He's a scientist, yogi, international speaker, presenter, and visionary. He is involved in practical research with integrating ancient Indian Vedic knowledge, Kaya Kalp yoga, and Kundalini Tantra yoga with the modern sciences for the last 30 years in more than 50 countries around the world. He has worked tirelessly towards the physical, mental, and spiritual well-being of humanity through powerful yoga and well-being projects, teacher training courses, and he volunteers to run public service projects. In the first hour of this webinar, our panelists will be giving their views on a couple of questions we have for them, which will be followed by question and answers with the audience after an hour, that is at 7 p.m. So audience, if you would like to receive the recorded version of this webinar, or you want to share it with others later, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The New Earth Summit. As our panelists answer the questions, you may type your questions for them in the Q&A box, but I will take up those questions at 7 p.m. for the panel. So now I will begin by putting forth our question to the panelists. Nandini, if you could share with us in about 15-20 minutes, what is your advice to people on the preventive aspect of COVID? How to not get COVID, how to remain healthy, how to have a very good immune system that can fight off all these bugs and micro things and viruses that are supposed to be harming us.
Thank you very much, Vijay, for that introduction, as well as hello to my co-panelists. Looking forward to everything that everybody has to share. Now, from my understanding of detoxification, natural detoxification, I don't believe that the world is designed to kill us. If anything, it's the opposite. Earth, nature, everything is designed to help us as well as all living beings prosper. These are the conditions that exist on Earth. If we were to die from viruses, which cannot even be seen, and it's questionable whether they even exist or not, or bacteria, or microorganisms as they are called, the human race would not have survived. And you know, the modern medicine that we have today, that we are so reliant upon, didn't even exist until about 100, 200 years ago. So before that, humanity has survived for tens of thousands of years, living with the microbes, living with the bacteria and the viruses and everything else, parasites and so on, that we know very little about, because this is what we've discovered. God knows what else is there that we haven't discovered. So my belief is we are meant to coexist with everything. However, there has to be a however, because we wouldn't be in this mess if it wasn't a however. However, each one of us has a certain, I mean, to use a very broad Sanskrit term, dharma, but to make it approachable in terms of a common understanding, there is a certain way, according to nature, that each species is supposed to exist. For example, an elephant has a certain kind of diet, is found in a certain kind of climate conditions and certain kind of terrain, and has a certain lifespan, is supposed to live in a certain way. And so are all other creatures, whether it's a squirrel, an ant, a butterfly, a lion. Take any creature on the planet, and human being is no different. We are one of the many creatures on this planet, and for each of us, there is a certain diet, a certain climatic condition, a certain terrain, a certain way of living that we are supposed to live in. And if we were to follow the rules of nature, we would thrive, like people have been over the ages, and that's how we have survived as a race for so long. Now, the thing is that we have to examine how have we changed the way we are living, the environment that we are living in, and most importantly, what we are putting into our mouth. Both of those are important, and the way we are living. So one is the environment within which we live. One is the way we live, how much we move, what we breathe, what we do, how we are thinking, all of that, the lifestyle, and the diet. We have to look at all these and say, have we violated the laws of nature anywhere, that it has happened that a small microscopic organism, which cannot even be seen with the naked eye, can, take all of humanity down in such a big way and cause so many restrictions upon us? Like, what exactly is going on here? When this news first came, I too, I'll be very honest, I was petrified for about a couple of months, listening to all the stuff that was coming through. However, when more news started to come in, somehow things were not adding up. So I started thinking, because as a health coach, as somebody who believes in nature, I pondered this, I researched this, I read up about it, and then I realized that the whole thing didn't add up. Because the problem is that what we call pathogens, actually there is no such thing as pathogens, but let's assume there is for the sake of this conversation here, because otherwise it'll take too long to explain everything around this. But let's say there are these microbes that seem to be found when we are sick. The thing is that these microbes were discovered, of course, when we invented the microscope. And they just happened to be present on site when an organism was deemed sick. Okay? So whether they are the causative factor or not was not actually really established. It was assumed, since these microbes are being found on site when an organism is sick, and there is no other foreign, organism being found here, so it must be this that is causing the disease. It's like imagine there's a Diwali night and there are lots of fires all around, and there are lots of these fire trucks going around putting out these fires, and somebody comes from another country, from another, they have no idea about Diwali and what happens in Diwali, and they are traveling in a bus and they see, oh, there's a fire and there's a fire truck, there's a fire, there's a fire truck, there's a fire, there's a fire truck. Oh, fire trucks cause fires. This is what has happened. It's a case of mistaken identity. It is not the microbe that is causing the disease. It is that we have given it an environment within our body that the microbe is coming to feast on. There is a certain amount of toxicity and filth build up, whether it is due to undigested food matter, whether it is due to all the chemical load that we have in our body, the toxins from the chemical load, whether it is due to radiation. There are so many things. If you just look at the chemical load of personal care products, or tires on the road, or even tar that's on the road, or the pollutants, the industrial pollutants that are there in the air, all of that we are breathing in. And when that mixes with all the medications we have taken and all the injections we have taken, and the food and the processed food and the junk food that we are eating, which is also loaded with chemicals, by the way, that's what makes them feel tasty. Think about all the chemical load in the body, and that is what we call toxemia in nature cure, or toxicity, which is what the pathogens, so-called pathogens, are coming to feast on. If you go back a little bit into medical history, you will find something called the terrain versus the germ theory. So everybody knows the father of the germ theory. Somebody can put in the chat box, who's the father of germ theory? Pretty much everybody knows this. We are taught this in school. It's Louis Pasteur, of course, who observed the microbes and said, it's the microbe, let's kill the microbe is the culprit. But there was another guy who was a contemporary of Louis Pasteur. He was probably not that well connected or not that well spoken as Louis Pasteur. And he is the one who spoke about the terrain. And he kept on speaking. His name was Boucham, a Frenchman. I don't know whether I pronounced the name correctly. He was a contemporary of Louis Pasteur. So this is in France. And he kept saying, it's not the germ, it's the terrain. When you give the habitat to a germ, which is meant to attract that germ, in the sense, germs, these microbes, are the decomposers of nature. So they come into the body to decompose the toxic matter. They actually are friends. To digest it, throw it out of the body so that it's gone. However, the toxic overload that we have in our body today is something that our body is not able to handle. And when these germs come, they also leave out some sort of digestive waste. And in the process of neutralizing all that toxicity, we may get some symptoms like fever, cold, because the mucus starts to drain out of the body. The mucus is where most of the toxins are accumulated. So when the mucus starts to drain out, it's actually a good thing because you're releasing toxic matter from the body. When you get diarrhea, it's actually a good thing, releasing all that from the body. When the body raises temperature, it's trying to kill some not so beneficial things that may have crept in and then normalize you again. But we think we are sick and we run to, all these medical solutions and take more chemicals, which are toxins really for the body, in order to suppress those symptoms, when those symptoms caused by those organisms, microbes, are actually trying to help us. So what can we do to not overload our body, that it's toxic to such a level that even all the intelligence in the body is overwhelmed with the toxic garbage? If you throw garbage out and you throw this much out, it can go out. If you throw a ton of garbage out every day and the little garbage cart that comes, it doesn't have the capacity to handle, it's going to build up and build up and build up. And one day we're going to be covered in filth all over our home. That's exactly what's happening in our real home, inside our body, which is our real home. The toxic matter has just built up and built up and built up. So what can you do? All you need to do is clean up the terrain, detox the terrain. And I'm familiar with Daryl's work. I'm not familiar with the other two, but my work, Daryl's work, and many other people in this field, and I'm sure to a large extent, even the panelists today, our work is all about that. Detox the body, eat clean, eat natural, wholesome food that grows in nature, that you can recognize is from nature, not that it's denatured to such an extent that you don't even recognize what you're eating, because it's all ingredients and machine-made products mixed with the flavor-enhancing chemicals and highly addictive sugar, salt, oil, all of that. If you keep consuming that, the body will just get overburdened with all the digestive waste, metabolic waste, and so on. So all you need to do is clean up your diet, take care of the environment, the kind of chemicals you're exposing yourself to, use more natural products on your body, try to be around nature, around trees, where you can get good, clean, oxygenated air. If you're living in toxic cities like I am, I'm making a plan to get out of it. And also at the same time, encouraging people to understand the concerns of pollution. There are citizens groups that are working around that as well. And also be mindful of toxicity like radiation, like your Wi-Fi, switch it off at night. Don't keep your phone next to you all the time. Try to use the phone less, and also go for holidays in pollution-free and radioactivity-free zones. You can do that once in a while. Take up a hobby which makes you spend time in nature, where you can maybe garden, put your bare feet on the soil and neutralize some of that radiation inside you, and be in nature as you're gardening with plants, with soil, and so on and so forth, or at least for holidays. So as long as you live wholesome, so you correct your lifestyle, you use natural products on your body, you eat natural food, your terrain will clean itself out. You don't have to do anything. Only the body heals the body. Only the body knows how to clean all the toxins out, and it'll clean them through the eliminative organs, the liver, the kidneys, the lungs, the skin. So don't panic if during the process of detox you have a little bit of diarrhea, or you have a little bit of skin rash or something. Do not panic and run to just make it go away. Instead, just keep doing what you're doing, having full faith that the body will eliminate, because you are cleaning up your act. So the way to prevent not just COVID, any other cousin of COVID or COVID 20, 25, 50, 53, 67, whatever they come up with next, prevent anything at all. It's to keep your terrain clean so that no toxin eating bacteria or pathogen in huge numbers is attracted to come there. It will just not come there because there's nothing for it to eat. You know that there are so many people who get exposed to the virus and to other influenza viruses and TB virus, which is far more dangerous than COVID-19. I don't know why nobody panics about that. But there are so many people who get exposed to these. Not everybody gets it. It's not just luck. It's, of course, a little bit can be luck, but it's mostly the terrain. Yeah. And also each of us has certain inherent weaknesses. And if we change our lifestyle, we can overcome those weaknesses and make our terrain much stronger. And overall, what we call the immune system, yeah, there is a different understanding of the immune system in detox as well. But given that everybody understands that immune system kind of fights off things, it is also stronger. Actually, it's just that there is nothing for the pathogens to come there. If there is no food for them, they won't go there. It's like any other living beings. They go and multiply where there is food for them. Once the food finishes, they're gone. If any of you compost your food, I would just like to ask you, have you seen germs and all kinds of creepy crawlies and microbes in the compost? Where do they come from? They're there. They're in the air, they're in the food, they're in the soil, and they decompose. And once, if you have a healthy compost, and once the decomposition is over, they all disappear. You'll find very few little creatures, the beneficial ones who are still eating, and like the earthworms or something. But those you won't see any of the big guys, or they just go away because their food is over. They did their job, they decomposed, and along with that they decomposed themselves, and they're gone. So just to summarize, I don't know how much time, let me know if I'm running over my time. So I'll summarize in 30 seconds. The germ is not the enemy, which is actually the good news. Because when we make someone outside the enemy, we have no power over it. Then we have to depend on anybody else who says, hey, that's the enemy, and I have the correct, medicine for you to beat the enemy. Roll up your sleeve, But if you understand that there is no enemy out there, however, there are certain things that have gone wrong in our body, in a sense, because we've not been living in alignment with nature, eating natural food, living wholesome lifestyle. So if we just correct that, then no microbe will come there. So just take care of your terrain through food, lifestyle, and environment that you're exposed to, especially pollution and so on, and the radioactive frequencies, and you will be just fine. You'll be one of those people who can walk into a room and other people catch the flu and you never do. So that would be my advice.
Thank you, Nandini, for that lovely perspective. And I've seen that a lot of people nowadays are heavy into the detox mode because that's becoming very popular. And what I say is, and I would like your feedback, is if your body seems to need detox, every 2 or 3 months, would it be an indicator that you're putting in junk quite often, and that's why you need to detox so often? And so people should also be very clear about what are they getting into their body. For example, this whole current, people are just going into malls. The malls is a wonderful place for a good evening, and in the food section there, everything is packaged and processed besides the fresh food section, right? So you don't get any natural food over there. So obviously, if people are going to be eating all these processed foods that have got stabilizers and chemicals and all synthetic things, then they are going to be detoxing for every month. Yeah, what would you say to that?
You know what? I don't treat detox as a fad. It's a very powerful tool, and it's something that we need to respect because it is something that the body does. And if we keep overburdening the body, that it's and expecting that every 3 months it'll just detox itself out. It's not true, because some of these chemicals, especially the chemicals that are used in food, and even the pesticide grown food, which is conventional food, they are persistent pesticides and persistent chemicals. What does it mean? It's very hard to detox them out of the body. They lodge themselves deep into the tissues of the liver, in the kidneys, and even in our muscles and our other. They harm our glands. They harm our vital organs. So I would not like to think that you can eat and drink what you like and then just detox once every 3 months. This is very, very incorrect thinking. It is not wholesome thinking. The idea to be that there are certain pollutants that we are not in control of right now, okay, like air and things that are bigger than what we can do as an individual right now. But everything that is within my control, let me do that right, so that my body has the strength, the immunity in it to fight off all this environmental pollution, technological pollution, light pollution, being away from nature pollution that I'm imbibing, and also not to mention the stress that comes with it, that my body can deal with it. So I think I agree with you that if your body is detoxing every 3 months or 6 months, every time the season changes, while it's good news that your body still has the ability to detox, because there are some bodies that are so enervated that they don't even have the strength to detox. Yeah. So it's not a sign of health if you're eating, whatever you want and living a sort of unhealthy lifestyle and you're not detoxing. It's not a good sign. Some people think it's great because I don't fall sick, but then they may wake up with something far more serious than just a cough and cold. So I would say it's playing with fire, really. If you are just going to eat all this and keep putting it into your body despite knowing all this. So the idea would be, see, people get scared thinking, oh, hum sab kuch chhod de, hum sirf salad khaye aur phal khaye. It's not like that, it's a journey. And you can progress on the path. You can clean up your act, for one meal to start with. And as you start feeling better and your aches and pains go away and your excess weight melts and your migraines and whatever goes away, you will start feeling better. And the food will call you to it. It will attract you because you will fall in love with the feeling of lightness, with the feeling of energy, with flexible joints and no aches and pains in your body. That's kind of what happened to me. It's been a slow journey, but slowly improving. And not fearing that hum ye nahi kha sakte, you can eat whatever you like. It's your life, it's your body. But make a start to clean up.
Yes, and they could start with picking up your book and all these recipes from all across the world. Thank you so much, Nandini. Now I would like to ask Dr. Reema, could you please share with us your system, how you've been working that will save people from, presenting the COVID symptoms, as it's called medically. This person is presenting this, that person is presenting diabetes, and now I call it COVID symptoms because the research right now shows that the source may not be a virus of this, all of these symptoms. There is 5G also in the picture that causes these symptoms. There's so much of environmental toxicity that is also causing flu-like symptoms to people. So I like to call it, I like to call it COVID symptoms. And those COVID symptoms are, yes, cough, cold, flu, joint pains, yes, some people have diarrhea. So Dr. Reema, what is your system to help people with this?
A very good evening. Wish you all a very happy Diwali. And first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Daryl for inviting me as one of the panelists for this New Earth India Summit.
You're most welcome. And happy Diwali to you too.
Yeah, so as we all know, like this is basically India's first integrative summit, which is actually addressing the problems related to health, food, environment, and farming. This is a very unique, I guess, Earth Summit, which is happening in my own country, and I'm very happy to be a part of this and share my experiences on this platform. As our today's topic is basically prevention is better than cure. And I guess we heard this phrase more than 1,000 times since our childhood. In past 2 years, pandemic has basically done the tremendous economic loss and unprecedented health crisis across the globe. There are a lot of people who are talking about developing the cure, but unfortunately, nobody is actually focusing on the prevention aspect. I strongly believe that we really need to focus more on the preventive measures. We really need to develop a kind of system where people can actually understand that how we can prevent illness, not just COVID, any sort of illness. What are the basic criteria? What are the preventive measures we all need to understand so that we can all lead a healthy life. And we should not get into a trap where we are actually, getting all these kind of symptoms, whether it's body ache or cough or cold or anything. I will definitely give review about it later, that if at all you happen to be a part of this vicious cycle, then how you can actually come out of it. But before that, I really want everyone to understand that what is prevention actually is. And the moment we think about prevention, the first word which comes in our head is immunity. And I guess every single individual nowadays is talking about immunity. And before I really make people understand that how you can actually work on your immunity or immune system, I want everyone to understand what is basically immunity or an immune system. Basically, immune system is a network of cells, tissues, and organs. It's more like a defense mechanism which your body create basically to protect you from all sort of illnesses, virus, bacteria, or anything. So it's basically a defense line for you, and we all need to have a very protective defense line. Like, for example, the army is very much there on the borders. If we lift all these soldiers from there, we all know we'll be vulnerable. So it's very important first to have that defense line of system in our body. Then only we can, talk about living a healthy life. And if I really want to explain in a very simple terms that what is immunity, so it's basically we can divide into two parts to make people understand. One is basically innate immunity, something which is a first line of defense, like skin. Skin is basically a part of innate immunity. The moment any sort of virus or bacteria or anything which is there in the environment, which we can consider as a foreign invader, if they are attacking, you always have a defense mechanism for you. That's basically your invade immunity. But then there is something called acquired immunity as well, which we basically acquire throughout the life. The moment your body is exposed to any sort of virus or bacteria or any sort of foreign invaders, your body basically start working over it. And the moment your first line of defense fails, that time your acquired immunity comes into action for the protection of your body. So that nothing can actually fine. We do have everything in our system. We do have bacteria, virus, pathogens, and we really don't need to worry, about them if our system is effective and having a perfect immune system. But at the same time, yes, we really need to have a defense mechanism to work against these foreign invaders, because they are basically the foreign substances for our body. So the main two defenders in our body is basically one is white blood cells. You must have seen the moment anybody falls sick, the first thing which happened in your CBC report is your white blood cells counts, really hike up. The reason is that because white blood cells is basically is a kind of a, like system where your body, they basically destroy all the harmful invaders. And they just not only going to destroy, they also neutralize the toxins which that foreign invader might produce in your body. Also, the good bacteria in your microbiome, and that is why the health of a microbiome is actually a deterrent factor for your immune system. So the good bacteria in your microbiome is also one of the main defender. So once we understand that, yes, we do have something inside our system which is working for us to protect us against these foreign invaders, we really need to understand that why exactly we are, falling sick. Whether it's COVID or any other circumstances, if you're falling sick, that means your main defenders are not able to protect you. Maybe your white blood cells or your good gut bacteria or any other aspect. So what are the major aspects, which actually stop your main defenders to work for you? So the list is, trust me, very big. First is, of course, the unhealthy eating habits. Till the time you keep on stuffing your system with junk foods, processed food, refined foods, and all sort of bad, unhealthy foods, you will not be able to empower your, your immune system to work in your favor. Your main defenders will not be able to defend you if you are not giving them the right environment. So unhealthy food habits, lack of sleep, dehydration, too much of toxin, like you're taking in your system in any way. Dehydration is also the factor. Then pollutants. So there's all the stress, a lot of stress. People tend to take a lot of stress in their day-to-day life. So these are all the factors which are basically going to affect your immune system. And your main defenders, which are there in your system, may feel less empowered or may not be able to protect you the time they are supposed to get into action. So now the question comes in how we can actually, build a strong immune system and how we can actually create a kind of environment where our system should work in our favor. Because we do have inbuilt defense mechanism. It's just we have to empower it, we have to direct it, we have to create a kind of internal environment. We focus a lot on external aspects, but the moment you start working on your internal environment, you will be able to protect yourself from all sort of illnesses, including COVID. And you will not get into a space where you tend to get any sort of symptoms, whether it's coughing or fever or anything. Of course, still there is a possibility. We can always, talk about it, that how we can actually, empower our system to the maximum extent. But let's talk about the basic steps which we can take on daily basis, because this is not something which you have to do, like once. It's not that you are going to work on your immune system one fine day and it's going to work in your favor. You have to take steps on day-to-day basis to empower your immune system. So what are these simple ways? What are the steps which you have to follow on your day-to-day basis to get a correct, immune system? So the first is, of course, you have to start getting into healthy eating habits. Till the time, as I said earlier, you keep on consuming processed foods, junk foods, unnatural foods, you can definitely, cannot protect your system against any sort of illnesses. You have to get into the natural foods, something which your body can identify. Your body cannot relate with any unnatural processed junk or foods which are full of toxins. You have to provide all sort of natural fruits, vegetables, cruciferous, green vegetables, nuts, seeds. The list is quite big. As mentioned by my co-panelists as well, that you really don't need to starve. You really don't need to get into detox, all the time. All you need is that you have to give your system, you have to feed your system all sort of natural foods. And trust me, the list is very big. And you can start inculcating all these natural foods in your diet, you have to start identifying your plate, that how actually you are, serving yourself, what you are actually putting on your plate, you have to start identifying. So this is the first thing, you have to work on your eating habits if you want your defense system, which is there in your body, to work in your favor. Second thing is exercise, sunlight, air, and earthing. Trust me, these are four, things which can actually come for a rescue when it comes to protecting you against any sort of illnesses or bacteria or viruses. The problem is that nowadays people are living a very sedentary lifestyle, and that's not how we humans were designed. We were designed to move, we were designed to stay active. So you have to have a very active lifestyle. You have to get into any sort of exercises. I'm not asking you to get into gym only. I mean, it's up to you what form of exercise you can relate with, you can resonate better. It can be yoga, it can be just like long nature walks, it can be cycling, swimming, running, whatever suits you. But you have to have some kind of exercise, like schedule in your day-to-day life. Also, we do need sunlight. Nobody can deny this fact. We were not designed to stay in the four walls. If you are like all the time in the four walls, trust me, your immune system can never, work in your favor. So instead of chugging supplements or, talking about immunity more and more, I guess it's a time to understand the basics. We really don't need to understand. It's not a rocket science. We all need to understand the very basics. So the very basics is very much there. It's available in the nature. If nature is full of pathogens, bacteria or virus, they are there. They coexist. They are not going to harm you as long as you are also a part of nature. As long as your system is completely, aligned with the nature. So you have to expose yourself to the sunlight. You have to take fresh air, go for a nature walks. That's the best way you can, fill your lungs with a lot of oxygen. As we all know, COVID is basically a respiratory infection. So it's related to your lungs. So to strengthen your lungs, you can always, go for a long nature walks where you get a lot of fresh air and fresh oxygen. So that is something which is needed. Also, we do need to have a right connect with the earth also, because that's where we come from. So earthing is also a very good practice where you can actually, go barefoot on the, you can always go on the grass patch, or even in Goa, it's very much possible. We can go for a beach walk barefoot. Though I know there's a lot of littering going around, on the beaches, and through this platform, I request everyone, please guys, stop littering on the beaches, because that's the place where we can actually connect with the nature. I mean, that's a beautiful place where we can feel the sand and the water, just by walking barefoot. So stop littering so that we get a chance to connect with the, Mother Earth, and to protect. That's how we can actually protect our immune system. We don't need to chug, supplements or anything. Also, fine, we know, we understood by now that if you really want to have a beautiful, strong immune system, we have to have a healthy diet, we need to move, we need to get in, connect with the earth, we need sunlight, we need air. But there is something I feel which is quite underrated in the world of health and fitness, that's sleep. People feel that, okay, we are eating right, we are doing a lot of exercise, so we are sorted. But then uh, this is the area where people, actually miss on. Uh, we all are living in the world of OTG, Netflix, and, this internet world where people tend to get into such kind of addiction where they are, on the social handles for the late night hours. So you cannot definitely, undermine the importance of sleep in your health or your immune, or to empower your immune system. So you really need plenty of sleep. Trust me, guys, we definitely need a good quality sleep. If we are looking forward for a healthy life, if you are looking forward for a strong immune system, without chugging any sort of medicines or supplements. So these are the basic natural supplements available for you free of cost. You don't need to spend anything over it. So start focusing on your quality sleep as well. But when I'm talking about the quality, that means you really have to, inculcate some kind of practices where you are earning a quality sleep. It's not just about lying on your bed for 8 to 9 hours. We need quality sleep. So we can always practice Yog Nidra before hitting our bed. We can practice left nostril breathing. We can do some sort of meditation. So there are various ways available where you can actually help your body to induce in a quality sleep. So this is what is really needed if you really want to have a perfect immune system which work in your favor. But at the same time, we do have a category of people who are unfortunately have already manifested some kind of medical condition. Especially for those people, the very first advice I would like to give is that go for a regular checkups. This is something where again people, are not really aware or they really tend to ignore. It's very important to keep a complete track of your internal health parameters. As long as you know where things are going wrong, you can, take care of it within the right time. You just should not be on the brink where you realize that, okay, my sugar level is completely, out of control, or my thyroid parameters are completely shooting up. So go for a regular blood profile checkups. Even for the healthy individuals, I would like to give a same advice, because we are living in a world where people are quite ignorant with their own body. Though body definitely give all sort of signs. Your body keep on communicating with you. But the thing is that we are so busy and we are so absorbed in our own life that we tend to ignore these symptoms. So the best way is to go for a regular blood checkup so that you will get to know that what's happening inside my system, and you can take care of all these things on time, instead of, getting into the situation where you are already entered in a vicious trap. So this is one more advice of mine. And lastly, it's very important to maintain a good hygiene as well. I know we all are aware beings, but then at the same time, I happen to meet a lot of people who are not really, into hygiene aspects. These days, yes, people are, washing their hands frequently and doing a lot of things related to hygiene. But it's not just about COVID in generic. Also, we really need to take care of all the hygiene factors so that you are keeping all those foreign invaders at bay, because these are all the ways you are attracting them. So hygiene is also something very important. If you really want, I can talk about few superfoods which can actually help you. But at the same time, I feel, every natural food is a superfood. I don't believe in categorizing, though. I guess whatever is coming from Mother Nature, whatever is in the most natural form, works like a superfood for you. All you have to do is just go seasonal, go local. As Daryl mentioned, that the superstores or the malls are just, good for a walk or just for the pleasure, but that's not the place where you are supposed to buy your grocery or your day-to-day, like fruits or vegetables. Go to a local vendors and you will get to know what is local and what is seasonal. So, but yeah, I can still list down few of the superfoods which can actually help you to have a real good immune system. So people are really, these days people really get worried about the good fats. They really get worried, oh, we don't need good fats, we might gain weight. But trust me, you don't gain weight with good fats. All the basic responsible factors are the refined foods, the trans fats, all these, they are the responsible factors which end up you making, a little fat. So we need a lot of good fats, like we need pure cow ghee. We need good quality cold pressed coconut oil. We can thrive on all these. We need to include a lot of nuts and seeds in our diet, spinach, broccoli, all the local fresh green vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, citrus fruits. These are all the defense mechanism for your system. So as long as you are eating healthy, natural foods, as long as you are living an active life, as long as you are putting conscious efforts to stay away from the toxins, you really don't need to worry about the bacteria or like virus or any sort of illness. Your body is capable enough. Your body is having an inbuilt defense mechanism. You just have to empower and let your defense mechanism work in your favor. So these are the basic ways. And if you have already manifested any kind of disease, then it's my strong advice to keep a complete check on your parameters. Make sure you are able to manage your condition. And at the end, you should try to reverse it. And there are various professionals who are working in the field of reversing all these chronic illnesses. Get in touch with them, so that you can gradually get into the process of reversing all these illnesses, but at least try to manage them well by keeping a good track and eating a healthy diet and living a natural life.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Reema, for that very comprehensive. And I really like that you touched upon, the other aspects as well, which I'm also, very, I keep on, repeating the same about getting enough sunlight. In fact, there are many videos on internet now since the time COVID came, which says that it's just a basic vitamin D deficiency. They put it across so strongly. And yes, I even advocate, earthing and grounding. So thank you for that, very all-round perspective. Now, Vijay Anand, could you please share with us, yes, your more holistic yoga system that comes from so many years of you working with people, helping them, keep their immunity high and balancing their mind, body, the spirit parameters.
Namaskar. Thanks, Daryl. Actually, when I met you, it was like a real awakening that I will meet somebody like you in Goa, and with so much interesting awakening work happening. So I congratulate you for all the efforts and wonderful work you are doing. It's really much needed and much appreciated. So I think that we should put and connect with more and more like-minded friends to make it a strong movement. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Just before I start my talk, a brief introduction that how my interest or yoga journey started. Because it's very interesting that I had the fortune of having the best qualifications in biochemical engineering, biotechnology, genetics, biosciences, and a lot of good studies I did. But my life-changing journey point was at the age of 5 years. So I come from a Vedic family where yoga, Ayurveda, and all these things are like traditionally practiced. And I always used to see my grandfather doing all this yoga postures and other stuff. And I was very curious and always asking him, what are you doing? Why are you doing? So he told one thing, that if you don't want to get old, if you don't want to die, I tell you a solution. I told, oh yes, this is a dream of everybody on the planet, that can we really avoid the aging process in a practical way? Can we really use this ancient knowledge so that it can be reflected and is real? Because a lot of people can talk about it, but can it be really practiced? And in a scientific way, we can really achieve that slowing down of aging process, keeping the immune system stronger. What are the key secrets? And I promised him at the age of 5 that one thing I will follow for my rest of the life, 1 hour of morning yoga and pranayama practice, what he was teaching. and half an hour of meditation practice. And now it is almost like 55 years. Last September, I completed 60 years of journey. And I would say that that one small commitment changed my whole life journey. And it was really an amazing experience. And I would like to say a few things that Dr. Reema did a very good job. She almost covered most of the things like which are quite relevant with the COVID issues. But what has attracted my attention, and Dr. Reema rightly said, COVID is a respiratory disorder. And I will present a video because I was doing a lot of research work. What are the traditional methods of dealing with respiratory disorders like bronchitis, asthma, or sinuses? So what I found was a very simple, a very basic yogic cleansing technique, Jala Neti. There's a copper pot, we call it ENT doctor. And this is a magical practice. It takes only 2 minutes, some warm water, half a spoon of salt. I have the video which I will share and you will watch it. I already have shared in the chat. I could not believe that by introducing this simple practice for more than 3 decades in older countries in Europe like EU and UK, just by this one single habit, people started getting no flu problems. Forget of COVID, like their all respiratory issues were taken care by this one simple nose cleansing technique. And later on, I found that if this one single technique can be introduced as a compulsory technique in schools, 90% of the respiratory disorders can be handled in a preventive measure. So it is just so simple, and it has no cost. So what I found was why this technique was so effective. If you pay attention to the human energy design, see the body. What comes to your attention when you look at the breathing? You notice you have 2 nostrils. Immediately the question comes, if purpose is breathing, 1 is enough. Why you need the 2? And there came the whole knowledge system. Actually, what all I am sharing today was shared by a great yogi, Shiva. He was the tribe leader at the start of the civilization when the tribal culture was transforming into the matriarch society. And this scientist, through a very simple spiritual scientific technique which he called self-enquiry, enquiry of the self, where you close your eyes and in deep state of awareness, become aware what all is happening inside. And he noticed that purpose of 2 nostril is there is an alternate nostril breathing happening, which actually is controlling the whole hormone and the nervous system design. And the magic of all the yoga practices and pranayama practices, why people feel so relaxed, so nice, and so elated after a good yoga practice, what is happening is that from the physiological point of view, this unequal flow of air in 2 nostrils is needed to maintain a balance between the relaxed and the active state of the body. But it is not a good state if the body remains in these 2 extremes. So there are very good breathing techniques which are equally effective to deal with the COVID and also to make the immune system very strong. So after cleaning the nostrils, I have developed a 15 minutes COVID breathing program. What I would suggest is, if people are interested, I can share some of the breathing techniques today also. Or otherwise, my team in England is offering free online yoga and meditation and breathing sessions. So anybody is interested in attending those sessions, I can share the Zoom link. You can write to us on indianwellnessacademy@gmail.com and you will get the Zoom link, or I will share it for everyone. So what I found was that if we really have to deal with COVID in a very effective manner, we have to use the best what already exists. If you clean your nostrils with this Gulati pot, which takes only 2 minutes, and after that you do this 15 minutes of COVID breathing program. Like I can tell you that what is the first stage of that breathing requires. What we do in that, we inhale from the left nostril, we split the inhale in 3 steps. A short inhale, small hold, second inhale, small hold, a third inhale, hold for 5 seconds. So by splitting the inhale in 3 steps, you increase the inhale capacity. And after holding the breath, you make a long and deep exhale. Repeat it 5 times. Do the same with the right nostril. In the second part, you will do the opposite. You will inhale deep, but you will split the exhale in 3 parts. So again, you are making the exhale as long as deep possible by also allowing the detoxification. And the main problem, actually, whenever somebody is getting sick, what is happening is, in a normal situation, one nostril is more open than the other. But whenever you are getting sick, it doesn't matter it is COVID related or anything going wrong in the body, the first attack comes on the breathing. Instead of one nostril blocked, both the nostrils start getting blocked. You start having problem in breathing. You can't breathe properly. You start breathing from the mouth, which is very unhealthy. So what is very important is that if you don't allow the nostrils to get blocked, because once the nostrils get blocked, they directly affect your thermoregulatory system. And once your thermoregulatory system is disturbed, temperature of the body is disturbed. It either goes down or goes high. A bacteria or a virus can grow only whenever the body is not having its normal temperature. So in my research work, I have found that if somehow you learn that you will not allow these 2 nostrils get blocked, and there are simple cleansing techniques, as I am telling, this copper pot, Jalaneti, and 15-minute COVID related breathing, that how to keep these nostrils open using the alternate nostril breathing, then Bhastrika and then Kapalbhati, and there are some more variations of breathing I have added into it. And not a single person in over more than, like I have trained more than 10,000 teachers in UK and Europe, and we have a big family of holistic healers all over. Not a single person has been affected by COVID, because this is part of their routine. This is part of their life. And as a preventive measure, it's working so well. And it's surprising that this is not a new knowledge. It's all there. Only thing is that we need to become aware of it. We need to learn it, and we need to do it properly. So another thing what I have noticed in this COVID related problems, besides these breathing problems, which I have already told they can be handled very easily through pranayama and through nose cleansing techniques, is the mental health issues. So the second issue which took my attention, because of course, if you are doing a good yoga practice, a pranayama practice, a meditation practice, if you are eating whole, organic food with awareness, if you are exercising, they all will keep your immune system strong and will not allow you to get sick. Doesn't matter COVID or not COVID. What I noticed was that somehow people were not really helped properly because they were so badly misguided. Instead of telling people that you need to become author of your own health, you need to do things so that your immune system remains strong. So people were really like, I will say, harassed and misguided, that they were told that you don't need to do anything. We are there to give you a medicine, a vaccine shot, a jab, which everybody knows will worsen your immune system. And this sort of dependence on these things and then not getting well and getting sick has created a lot of mental health issues practically among all type of people. It's not only young, adults, elderly. Especially, I have seen the cases even among the IITians community that their mental health has been badly affected because they were not taught how to handle this COVID mess. So another very simple technique, I have the photo I will show when I will share my slides. A simple technique is that you lie down against the wall, your legs are on the wall and you are lying on the floor. So it's a Vipreet Karna Asana practice, but it's a very simple relaxation practice. It's not Yoga Nidra. In Yoga Nidra, you lie down straight on the floor. In this practice, your legs are against the wall and you are lying on the floor. And what you are doing is, you are slowly and gently, it's a 10-minute practice, slowing down your breathing cycle. So what happens is, in a normal condition, we make 15 breaths in 1 minute. 2 second inhale, 2 second exhale, we make 15 breaths. What happens in this practice is, after 5 minutes, your breathing cycle slows down and it comes to less than 5 breaths in a minute. And magic happens to your body. The whole parasympathetic system gets activated and you enter into such a deep relaxation state that all body hyperfunctions gets balanced. So what I am trying to say is that all the problem of anxiety, fear, insomnia, depression, there are beautiful techniques. Like I have not discovered anything new. I have just read carefully what all has been shared so far by different teachers and different people, especially the Shiva world, the breath science, Swar Yoga, the element science, Tattva Gyan, and his 112 sutras explained in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra is a beautiful source of knowledge. It empowers you to deal with any issue of life, not only some breathing or immunity or something. It's a very complete holistic system, empower you how to plan your life in 3 dimensions, how to be master in the physical dimension, where you are full of vitality, full of health, full of cheerfulness, just by spending few hours with yourself. Then it also empowers you that when you are not very much relaxed in this physical world, which is full of chaos and especially COVID-related mess, then it gives you very nice, simple techniques, how to connect to your inner teacher, inner dimension, divine dimension, the third eye. And that recharges you, because this is the switch, control switch. If we are not connected to it, the physical body has no way to recover by itself. So this on a regular basis, the meditation recharges you to connect with the divine dimension and helps your physical wear and tear also. And once you master this physical and divine dimension, your journey to cosmic is blissful. You can always transcend whenever you want and how much you want. So what I'm trying to say is that knowledge is simple. It's not that we have to, it's not a rocket science, as Dr. Reema was telling. It's simple, basic. Key is one, practice, practice, and practice. And of course, we need to be aware. So what I would like to do is that I would like to share these two videos and a few slides with you, just to give you a glimpse that why I feel so excited in sharing this knowledge, which has helped me a lot personally. And nowadays, I have made a mission that I have a dream. Even if you are a professional, you have a good profession. I have created a program of 4 weekends which will master you of your own health. So if you are interested, you can again get connected with me. This is one project I am spreading among all strata of the society. So let me see if we can do some share and
Could you make the screen big?
the second video which I wanted to share . So this has, I think, the down part. So this is what I was talking about, that all the things what even after studying so much in the elite institutes, and what I found that the amazing knowledge which was shared by Shiva so in the beginning of the civilization has really affected my own journey and my own understanding of the health and life and all other serious issues. And I'm thankful that this knowledge is simple, practical, and should be available for everybody. Next one. This is the Kundalini Tantra Yoga system, which covers 3 dimensions. Kundalini is the cosmic energy, Tantra is the divine dimension techniques, and Yoga is the physical dimension. And I am like, of course, I will not say that I am heading to immortality, but I can assure you that each year passing by, I feel more energized, more healthy, more vital. And for me, like, it looks like life is just starting. So I can tell you that if you really want to have the practical effect of this knowledge, there is only one magic mantra: learn and then practice, practice, practice. Next. Yeah, this I already told that the year 2020 was challenging for everyone. This COVID epidemic, mask, social distancing, isolation, mental health issue I already touched. That we really need to help people, bring clarity, bring guidance, and bring them out of this misconception that vaccines are the long-term solution. Not at all. Actually, they are messing up with everybody's health. So, and there's no point of wasting all your time on social media, Netflix, computers. It will weaken your immune system. So be careful, don't get into this trap, and start working for your own health, for your own well-being. Next. So I was telling, as other panelists also told, this is the practices for youthful living, daily plan, moderate exercise. If after yoga you have time, do some swimming, do some walking, do some jogging, learn proper breathing. It is one thing which will help you not only against COVID, against any other health-related disorder, because it makes your immune system ojas energy, what we call in Ayurveda ojas. Ojas energy is generated by the pranayama techniques, and it is also one of the most effective detox. Like there is a Bhastrika pranayama by which I can raise the stomach cavity temperature so high that every impurity will burn inside. So it is not that we have to spend money and go here and there and do this spatial detox. There are already there are Shat Karmas, 6 cleaning exercises in Ayurveda and Yoga, which can detoxify the entire body. Next one. Jalaneti I already talked, and we have seen the video. It's a wonder technique. If you want to learn it, it is never late. This is just a slide about our Prime Minister, who really has done a great job for spreading the awareness by even making yoga ambassadors. Like, it is such a wonderful feeling. First time in Indian history, each year India is sending more than 200 trained yoga teachers to different embassies, and they are the ambassadors spreading this yoga knowledge in a more formal and free offer way. So lot of good other things are happening, but at a very slow pace, as Darren was also telling about in the first day talk, that they need to do more. I'm sure that at least effort has been put, some change is happening, and I'm sure sooner or later, if we will build the pressure, if we will work hard, and if we will push them, they will listen us, and this movement will have greater heights. Next one. Meditation, everybody knows, it is wonderful. It is the one way to connect to your divine nature, the pure consciousness, the silent witness within us. And silence is what we are. We started journey from the silence. So try to experience this silence as much as possible by disconnecting to this chaos, this outside world, at least half an hour if you can afford. There are many simple meditation techniques which we share in our daily Zoom sessions. You can check all the programs on IndianWellnessAcademy.com, and I will be sharing the Zoom link also. Everybody is welcome. Learn and then do on your own. This is the beauty of this knowledge. You just have to learn and then you are free. You are not going to get dependent. Learn 1 month properly and do on your own, in your own home space. So that is the beauty of this knowledge, that it liberates you. It doesn't make you dependent on anybody. Learn and it is yours. Next one. Yeah, another very good meditation is candle meditation, Taratak. Very effective technique for connecting with the third eye and dealing with the mental health issues. Next one. Rudraksh meditation is also very effective with mental health issues. We teach a lot of techniques to deal with the mental health issues related to COVID. These are some of the techniques you can learn in our online Zoom sessions. Next. Brahmari Pranayama is a wonderful practice, be sound. It's a magic practice. If you do it every day for 3 minutes in the evening, very easy to learn. Close your ears, close your eyes with the fingers, inhale, and then make this buzzing, humming sound like this. This is one interesting pranayama technique which can create all the ojas energy of pranayama into tejas energy. The ojas gets converted into tejas, and that is where the miracle happens. When there is no comeback, your lower mind gets transformed into higher mind through such practices like Brahmari Pranayama, Shanmukhi Mudra, all these meditation practices. And then you are out of this habit process, that all these habits which keep you as a slave. So you need to do a very important work with your lower mind and transform it into higher mind through these techniques which I am sharing. And they have been explained in detail in the 1 hour video, which you can watch. Next one. This is another wonderful technique, Khichdi Mudra. Like nowadays, we are learning that we are teaching people on Zoom sessions how to mute. Actually, this is the self-mute technique where you roll your tongue upward and touch in the soft palate. And 2 things, wonders happens to you in this mudra. The 2 bad habits of lower mind, snacking and chatting, are not possible if you practice Khichdi Mudra. You cannot take the food when your tongue is rolled up, and you cannot talk. So just by such simple practices, you can enter into the divine state. They are not very difficult, just you need to learn. Next one. Prana Mudra. Now, yeah, this is one mudra I want to share with you. And I want to again make you aware. Now you know why you have 2 nostrils. My question is, why you have 5 fingers? Why not 4 or 6? So this was the beauty of Shiva work. He was such a great scientist without any scientific instrument. He found that these 5 fingers represent the 5 elements. And by managing the 5 elements flow, you can create different energy structures. If suppose you feel tired, you are without energy, and you are feeling like exhausted, if you combine your thumb with the little finger and the ring finger and the 2 fingers straight, and just to tell you, this is so easy to know which finger is which element. What is the longest finger? The middle finger. What is the most subtle element? The source element, space or ether. If you make a circle of your right hand and move clockwise, you will yourself find which finger represents which element. From ether, what is coming? Air. This finger is very dangerous. Whenever you have a lot of adrenaline, anger, excitement, you use this finger. So become aware that air makes you up and down. What is the next one? Fire, your thumb, your lifeline. What is the next one? This little finger, water element. And what is this finger? Why people put ring into this finger? Why it is called ring finger? It's earth element. It grounds you. You lose your freedom in a positive way. So this knowledge is precious. If you sit just like this in this Prana Mudra, palms upward, hands on the knees, combine these 3 fingers, you will not believe, you will recharge. So much prana energy will be generated from inside without doing anything. So these are called magic techniques, magic mudras. Next one. This was what I was telling, was legs against the wall. Do it every day 10 minutes. And you will not believe all your hyperactivities, your sleep, your high blood pressure, your hypertension, you name it. Within a month, you will see a cardinal shift in your life journey, in your energy, just by lying down like this against the wall for 10 minutes and slowing down your breath. So do practice some of these techniques. And if you need any help, as I told that, most welcome to join our free Zoom sessions. Let me know, I will be sharing the link also. And look forward to more such wonderful sessions, Daryl. You are doing wonderful job. Thanks a lot for this invitation and listening me so patiently. Of course, I am passionate all about it. It's my life, it's my journey. And thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sri Anand, for this very holistic, perspective. And yes, if you can put your link of your website or organization in the chat box, then I already have one question from people. They want to connect with your group, where you said the UK group, where people can connect with them and learn the techniques, for free and start practicing them. That would be a very useful thing right now. So yes, we can go into the Q&A. There are two questions here, but before that, I would just like to mention a couple of things, from right from the time this COVID started last year. I had done a couple of webinars, and all of you panelists have done a really wonderful job today of covering all of those the different aspects. So what I shared, it was for the basic understanding of people, giving them, this perspective that you have 100%, you should be having 100% of your immunity working for you all the time. But when you have each of those bad aspects in your life, like packaged food products that have got all these chemicals, they get into your digestive system, and then some part of your immunity is engaged with taking out those toxins. Then besides that, you will have, so maybe 10% of your immunity on a daily, because if you're eating packaged food products daily, right, that damage is happening to the system. So permanently you have about 10% engaged of your digestive system, of your blood system, of your kidneys, excretion system, your liver, everything is engaged in trying to use the useful part of that nutrition and throw out the junk. Then besides that, if you are having chemical body products, then you have another 10% of your elimination system, whether it's your breathing or your kidneys or your skin, that's trying to take it out. And if you have EMFs around the place, then you have another 10% trying to fight those fields that are coming to your body and trying to maintain your own chakra system and your aura. And then, of course, we also covered one aspect I want to say is these, the comorbid people in the world. It was on the first day of the webinar where we talked about, miracles of allopathy. And our other panelists did mention some good techniques and, diagnostics. But I said, finally, the biggest miracle of allopathy over the last 120 years is that it has created this present world of comorbid people in every country. Of course, that's a miracle for the big pharma people to give them clients forever. And over the last 120 years, we've just been giving them the money and we've been popping allopathic pills and not curing our high BP, cholesterol, diabetes, obesity. And that's why we have all of you therapists now, working so hard to do that. So it was a miracle for them, but of course, a complete tragedy for humanity. And right now, all of those people who are taking these medicines, you have to understand that these medicines are chemicals. And while it takes away your headache, or it tries to balance your hormones, or it tries to reduce your weight, or it's balancing your kidney function, right? They are still chemicals in the body, and your immune system is engaged with that. This is why during this pandemic, the comorbid people were a high percentage of people who are getting very sick with these symptoms and landing up in hospitals. So I would say 20% is engaged everybody who has any high BP, cholesterol, diabetes, any kind of allopathic pills, your immune system is going to be 20% engaged with that. So you have all these percentages of your engagement of the your immune system, right? And now what is worse now is with these COVID restrictions, we are using masks, we are using sanitizer, there's social distancing, you're upset, your finances are down, your emotional state, your energy body is withdrawn. So when all of this is happening, finally, how much immunity do you have left to fight what's happening right now? Whether it's toxic energy fields or it is all of these, other symptoms people are suffering from. So that's, a big takeaway. And I also was, I'll just give you an example of when, my mother got COVID. She was she's 83 years old and she got these symptoms, right? Now, she was not having any, it was about 20 years back that she started suffering from rheumatoid arthritis. And then I gave her certain natural treatments and then, she was off medication. So when she got just last year, she was on no medication. Okay, but this last year she fainted, mildly fainted twice, uh, just because the fan went off at night one night, and she was sweating so much in the morning. Her whole body was drenched, so she suffered from dehydration. And when she tried to get up and go to the washroom, she felt faintish and she kind of slowly collapsed on the floor. So that was the state of my mother. But then, of course, I told her about these things to hydrate herself, drink water before going to sleep at night. So then that reoccurrence didn't happen. But I'm just sharing that, yes, she was off all medicines. But when COVID symptoms happened, all that we did was rest and electrolytes and a green smoothie. Okay, that is a green vegetable juice with one piece of fruit in it just to make it a little bit sweet. And it so happened that 15 days before she got those symptoms, or 20 days before that, she felt a little pressure. So I checked her, and she had mild high blood pressure, so first time in her life. And they went to the doctor, and he kind of she wanted to take these allopathic pills, and he assured her the smallest dose. That's what she was on. But when she got these COVID symptoms, we put her on the green smoothie. And within the sixth day of green smoothie, her pressure started normalizing. The tablets went away. So in a 10 days of a green smoothie, she got rid of her high blood pressure. And then she came back to her that, what we need is this raw, natural food. And it is organic because I grow about 20-25 vegetables in my garden. So this is the effect of immune function. If you do the natural things and you eat natural food. So finally, now I will just like to come to the questions that I've put over here in the Q&A. One is from Akash Kumar. What to do in the first few days of COVID? Please upload it somewhere, YouTube or articulate. Okay, so what to do in the first few days of COVID? That is a question to our panelists. Please free, anyone can take.
Yes, so now the very first advice is not to get panicked, because I feel fear is something, which make you lose your wisdom and intelligence, and you end up taking wrong advices and wrong decisions. So the moment you get diagnosed with COVID, no need to get into a state of fear. Just relax, calm down, and get into a rest and digest mode. As Daryl already mentioned that his mother, she's 83. If she can recover, then I feel every individual can easily recover. As I mentioned earlier also during my discussion, that we all have a defense mechanism. It's an inbuilt defense mechanism. It's just that why we get infected, because maybe that time your defense mechanism was not working at the peak. So now since you have already developed the symptoms, you have already been diagnosed with COVID, so you have to now ensure that everything you are putting in your system in terms of your food, in terms of your thought, should actually empower your immune system. So how we can actually empower our immune system, keeping a fact that we are already, like the body is basically in a fight and flight mode, because your body has already became a receptor of the infection. So during that time, the first and the easiest way is to relax, calm down, and take complete rest. Second thing, body is 70% water. So you have to make sure that you are making your system completely hydrated. Dehydration can actually be a deterrent and can make your situation worse. So the second advice is make sure that you are completely hydrated. Now, this is the phase when your body is little bit compromised because your body is in a flight and fight mode. So you have to definitely empower your system in such a way so that your body should start favoring and getting over this infection. So try to inculcate a lot of natural foods, like citrus foods is very good when you are having COVID, like orange or anything which is basically going to work more in state of hydration, and something which is full of vitamin C, like orange and all the citrus fruits. Apart from this, as Daryl mentioned, green smoothies. Yes, I'm a big fan of green vegetable juices. So you can definitely take more of green juices when you are diagnosed with COVID, and not to eat any sort of heavy foods, because if you keep on putting a lot of stress on your digestive tract, how your immune system will work in your favor. So you have to spare your digestive system, you have to keep your digestive system on hold and let your immune system work for you. So for that, keep yourself relaxed, take complete rest, keep yourself hydrated, take more of a vitamin C rich foods, take green smoothies or green juices. You can also add like a lot of electrolytes in form of a coconut water. And trust me, you can easily pass through this phase without ingesting any sort of allopathic medicines. This is for the people who are having mild symptoms. But if you are already having any kind of comorbidities, if you are diabetic patient, if you are having hypertension or any other existing medical condition, then yes, I definitely would like you to advise to stay in constant touch with your physician, but not in the state of fear. The moment you are approaching out of fear, they may end up giving you 10 extra medicines which your system may not require. But at the same time, the basic standard protocols are same for all, that you have to get into a complete state of relaxation, give complete rest to your body, keep your system hydrated, eat all vitamin C rich foods like citrus fruits or spinach, or you can always take a lot of electrolytes in terms of like fresh coconut water. So these are the ways you can actually easily pass through. And if you are specifically having diabetes, it's very important to make sure that your sugar level should not shoot up. So yes, if you have any comorbidities, if you have any medical conditions, then you have to have a complete supervision if at all you are diagnosed with COVID. But trust me, it's as mild as any other flu or infection. So you really don't need to get into any state of worry to overcome the initial phase of COVID.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Reema. Yes,
Mhm.
Srivijay Anand.
Yeah, Reema already has covered good suggestions, but as I'm mentioning that the side effects when the COVID infection starts comes on your breathing. So make sure that you should take all the precautions what Reema has suggested, but don't let your breathing system gets compromised. So as I was mentioning that this regular cleansing of the nostrils, some simple pranayama breathing techniques, because I have healed a lot of people with COVID. And if suppose you do it seriously for the first 1 week, because the make or break comes between like after the 5th day, if the symptoms get worsened, then you are left with less choices. So the main thing is that in the beginning, if you become aware and if you take care of all the necessary interventions you need to do, but at the same time, the mild practices, you should not like rest is good, as I also mentioned, meditation and rest exercises are good, but you should be much more aware about your breathing issues and keep your breathing system going normal. So again, I will advise that learn all these simple breathing techniques. And I have seen people recovering in a week if they follow the whole holistic program.
Thank you, Sri Anand. Yes, and if Nandini
Yeah,
doesn't have,
I'd be
yes,
happy to add. I think in terms of the practicalities, Dr. Reena's answer was very, very comprehensive. And I would just say, don't wait for COVID to start all these wholesome, healthy practices. Do it now, and you will be safe not only from COVID and all its cousins and grandchildren and so on, but also from the comorbidities, the suggestions that we have given you, all four of us. If you start incorporating even some of those, especially the diet and lifestyle ones, or whatever takes your fancy, whatever kind of resonates with you, you would be saved from so many things. So why wait for COVID to act? And of course, if it does happen, you already have the answers, but start doing it now so that you don't have to, start then when it happens. Start taking action now, and there may never be any COVID that you have to deal with. And of course, not panicking is the number one suggestion that Dr. Reema made, and I would just endorse that again. Please do not panic and be afraid, because actually the media is the virus. It's
yes,
a disease with 99.7% recovery rate. If people
yes,
like Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Amitabh Bachchan and Daryl D'Souza's mother, older people with comorbidities, if they can recover, why can't we? Have faith in your body. Have faith in the system of yoga, in natural food, in breathing, in sunshine, and all these things that we are talking about. Have faith, practice these, and you will be fine.
yes. Thank you, Nandini. And yes, I just want to add that I've also been through that experience. So I'll just share the three most important points. So just before my mother, I had the COVID symptoms for a whole week. And maybe, yeah, I got it because I was not doing, for so many years, the pranayama techniques that Sri Anand, his entire group across the world are doing, and lying down on the floor and keeping the legs up. Maybe I've done that, 10 times in my life. So yeah, I had in the first week of May. But three things I understood very quickly is that rest. The first thing was rest, that you need to be calm and rest. Second thing is when you start getting the fever, that's the body's natural mechanism to heal itself. So if you take the medications to cut down the fever, even a small fever like 101 and 102, people go into a panic mode and they want to, so then you start blocking the natural healing system of the body, and then things are going to go wrong. And the third thing is really watch your hunger, you see, because you will lose taste, and that you have to respect. That's a signal from your body saying that, stop, I have enough reserves. I know what's happening to me. I know I'm going to heal myself. You just stop putting stop putting any load on my digestive system. Now, that's what people don't want to do. In their panic mode, they think that we have to give more fruits and more this and more that, and dumping people with all of, So I've seen that when the symptoms come and they get strong, when you're losing taste and smell, then it could be for 2-3 days. You're just having what Dr. Reema said, electrolytes, coconut water, green smoothie, that's all. So my mother was on almost 5 days on a liquid diet. And on some days when she was not feeling hungry at all, I didn't give her anything. You see, just the electrolyte, the coconut water and electral. So those 3 things I would say from my experience also. And of course, we also took vitamin C and we ate oranges also. And so just at home without any panic, we went through it. So I will take another question.
I'll just add a little bit to that. So absolutely. So what you're talking about is rest, not just of the body, but also digestive rest.
Yes.
Because that's one of the most overworked systems in our body. And no wonder that 80% or 90% of the illnesses originate from the digestive system, because we never give it a break. So get into the practice of fasting on a weekly basis if you can. That will also help ensure that you don't get such illnesses. And I'm sure everybody has heard of intermittent fasting as well, which is keeping a long gap in the night when you're naturally fasting. Instead of 12 hours, make it 14 or 15 hours or whatever. So explore this whole area of fasting, because it's one of the strongest medicines that nature has given to us. If you have any pets, you would have observed that if they're sick, the first thing they stop doing is eating. And we can learn from that as well.
Yeah, very right, very right. Thank you. Though we are reaching 8 o'clock, there are 2 questions, so we could perhaps, just wind it up in 5 to 7 minutes. And here's an interesting one. Dr. Reema, can you elaborate on natural ways to sleep and wake up early?
Okay. Trust me, these days, out of 10 patients, 9 patients are, they come up with complaints like sleep issues. Either they are not able to sleep, which is a condition called insomnia, or they are not able to sleep well, or whenever they get up in the morning, they feel drowsy and fatigued. In spite of the fact that sleeping is a very natural phenomena, still humans are the only species, who are facing a lot of sleep issues. Now, if I really want to explain it in a medical terms, we all know that our body releases a lot of hormones. So our body secretes one hormone called serotonin. Now, also our body releases one hormone called melatonin. The thing is that to get a quality sleep, we need melatonin. And to have accurate levels of melatonin, we also need serotonin, because if your serotonin is falling down, your melatonin levels will also fall down. Now the secret is lying in this melatonin levels and how we can actually raise the melatonin levels. So that means if you are really looking forward for a good quality sleep, if you are looking forward to get into that deep sleep, the practice begins from the morning itself. Whatever is happening in the night hours, that's basically a climax. It's how you are actually going to lead your entire day. The climax is based on that. So if you are not being enough active, if you keep on stuffing a lot of toxins in your system throughout the day, if you are always in a flight and fight mode and you always remain anxious throughout the day, whether it's your nature of job or whether it's your behavior, whatsoever the issue is, if you are not exposing yourself to enough of sunshine, then the outcome, the climax is such where you can never have a quality sleep. So if you are looking for a good quality sleep, the effort starts from the morning. Make sure you are taking enough of sunlight, because that's how your brain can actually differentiate between day and night. Then only your brain can secrete right hormones at the right timings. Your brain is supposed to secrete melatonin in the night hours, but that is only possible if your brain is able to differentiate between daylight, daytime, and nighttime. And that is only possible if you're exposing yourself to enough of daylight and sunlight. If you're all the time living in a four walls or in artificial lights, your brain gets confused. Your brain can never make out whether it's a night or a day. So the first advice, if you're looking forward for a quality sleep, start going out in daylight. That is my first advice. Second thing, you have to learn to wind up. Because at the end, I mean, if you see any other species, you know, I mean, if you see birds, they are active throughout the day, and by the time sun is setting down, they start, you know, winding up their activities and go back to their nest. But we are doing vice versa. In the night hours, we are more active. We want to go out in a party, we want to chat, we want to talk more. So if you are not learning, you know, the practice of winding up, you can never earn a quality sleep. So you have to start practicing, you know, from the day begin if you are looking forward for a good quality sleep. Yes, there are certain rituals which we can inculcate in our day-to-day life to improve the quality of our sleep. So the very first ritual which I would like to advise, which I've been practicing from years, is left nostril breathing. Like my co-panelist, he suggests like how breathing and yoga, you know, play a very powerful role in our like health parameters. So left nostril breathing is basically left is related to moon and right is related to sun. So the moment you close your right nostril and, you know, inhale and start exhaling from your left nostril, your brain will get a signal that, okay, now it's a night hours, I need to slow down, and now I need to get into a sleep mode. So left nostril breathing is a very good way to improve the quality of your sleep. Also, you can practice Yoga Nidra. I mean, on YouTube, there are various, you know, like Yoga Nidra sessions available. You can just see whichever you feel resonated with. So you can practice Yoga Nidra also to improve the quality of your sleep. And also try to align yourself with a sun cycle or a circadian rhythm, because that's how we humans are designed. So the more you are aligned with the nature, the more you learn, you know, to wind up in the night hours, the more you start withdrawing yourself from the outer world, the better quality of sleep you'll be having. And then you will not face any such issues where you will come up with a problem कि मुझे नींद नहीं आता है या मेरा mind hyperactive रहता है.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Reema. Would any of our panelists want to add anything more to that?
Yeah, I have just shared in the file the four chemicals which are very much important, like happiness chemicals, we call them. And they can be hacked by different activities, what all we have talked in this panel. And so far sleep is concerned, I already shared that this practice of Brahmari Pranayama, the bee sound, humming bee sound, legs against the wall. Yeah, so this, there are like, as Dr. Reema was telling, left nostril breathing, actually the body is a very intelligent energy design. So what happens during the night when you are sleeping, and if you feel restless, a wonderful thing happens. Body helps us by forcing us to lie down over right side. So you will not believe, just by lying down over right side, the nostril which comes up, it gets active within less than a minute. So body energy design is so intelligent that it knows how to help you even during the night. That if you are not able to like help yourself, body knows how to help you. So there are many ways and methods. If suppose you want to keep your left nostril active without touching your nostrils, just gently bring your mind or attention into the left nostril and wait. And you will be surprised, in less than a minute, your left nostril will become active. So there are many, many interesting ways how to help the body and achieve that balance and harmony.
Thank you, Sri Anand. I'll take the last question from Irfan related to sleep itself. Is there any remedy or food that can particularly help to reduce anxiety and stress, specifically for senior citizens? Anyone? Anxiety and sleep for general people and specifically for senior citizens. How to reduce?
Yeah, this is.
I can.
Yes, Nandini, please share.
So I would say if you understand the tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic food, so tamasic is the most toxic, and rajasic is actually stimulating. So you need to reduce all stimulating food. So tea, coffee, alcohol, processed food, high sugar, high salt, all of these fall into highly stimulating foods. So what can you focus on instead? It's on fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. Raw is the best, or lightly cooked. And that can be a very calming, sattvic kind of diet. And that can help you reduce anxiety. Animal products especially are also very stimulating, and they also contain the hormones of the animal itself. So reducing those or eliminating those would also be very helpful.
Yes, and I would second that. People need to remember that when animals are killed, they excrete a lot of stress hormones that go into all of that their bodies, which people are eating. So yes, Dr. Reema, what would you like to add?
Yes, so my first advice would be, as I already discussed, that we need to learn to put our system in rest and digest mode. And as my co-panelist also mentioned about intermittent fasting, see, if you're looking for a quality sleep and you are finding that food is interfering, so there can be many factors. The first factor is that you have to space up. You have to keep a gap of at least 3 hours between your bedtime and your last meal. If you are all the time involved in night munching, you can never earn a quality sleep. You will always have issues like acidity, or like you'll be gastric, you'll be bloated. And if you are having such situations, you can never have a quality sleep because your body is basically restless. So now if you're looking for a quality sleep, the very first thing is to space up. Stop eating 3 hours before hitting your bed. That is my first advice, so that there is no much food, like left in your intestines. If your body is completely into a digestive mode, digestion process is at the peak, you can never get a quality sleep.
We have covered sleep earlier. So if you could talk about anxiety and stress reduction through food or some technique, I'm sure Sri Anand will always, advocate meditation for peaceful, for reducing anxiety and stress.
See, one thing I can tell that we advise people, of course, this food is important, but our life has become so much with these electronic gadgets and online, internet and Netflix and whatnot. So we always advise people that at least give 1 hour free space before sleep to yourself. So just listen to some classical music, read some book, do something nice and gentle activity, so that you create a space for your mind, so that all that anxiety, all that unnecessary tension which is coming with this active and hectic lifestyle. So it's very important to learn how to slow down, and especially before the sleep. So if people can be like advised, and if they can listen, so I have seen that just cutting off yourself with all this extra things 1 hour before the sleep helps a lot.
That's right. Yes, Dr. Reema.
I would like to add up here, especially for the senior citizens, which I personally advise. If you can actually add this herb in your day-to-day life, before half an hour before you are going for your bed, you can have ashwagandha. Make sure you are getting in a most organic form. So ashwagandha is a very relaxing herb, which you can include in your diet to settle down the anxiety. This is first thing, and it definitely help you to have a better quality sleep also. So you can start taking ashwagandha. You can always take advice from some Ayurveda doctor, or you can always contact me as a nutritionist, where I can advise you the dosage, because we really need to see how much dosage you can take. In generic, 5 grams is good enough. So you can take ashwagandha to settle down your anxiety in the night hours. Apart from this, you have to cut down on the heavy foods. You should not be eating heavy foods in the night hours. So eat very light food, something which is not creating a burden on your system. Ashwagandha can help you out to get that relaxation. And then, as I already said, stop eating 3 hours before. So this is how you can actually encourage, to have a better sleep.
Yes, yes. Thank you. And I'm just putting in an advice from Sean Barry from USA. And he says in the chat box, cutting processed sugars from your diet reduces anxiety and stress. Yeah, that's very right. And Dr. Reema, since you're talking of herbs, I have seen through so many years, and that's why I keep, herbal teas. And I found that chamomile, a cup of light chamomile tea or lavender tea at night, maybe 1 hour before your normal sleeping time. They are both relaxants, and they'll both give you very good sleep. So people can try that also. It's not food. You have your dinner 3 hours earlier, and after about 2 hours, you just have. It's like having a glass of water, right? So that really works wonders. I've seen for so many, and mainly senior citizens also. I've also seen that too much of salt in your diet creates a tendency towards insomnia. So please avoid that. And the last advice I would say is people don't realize this, but when you go to bed, see that you don't have a blast of air or the fan or the AC hitting your face area, because then the Vayu Prakriti goes up and that creates insomnia. So you can have, the air touch your feet or mid body. Um, I've seen that in my own life as well. So change the direction of the fan a bit.
And there is one more advice, that if people are sleeping in and living in AC all the time, that's a very bad habit, because it slows down all body functions and brings other complications. So one has to have the exposure of fresh air as much as possible. Like after moving to Goa, I was feeling it very hot inside. So what I discovered was, in the back balcony, I have a green lush nature. It's almost like I'm living in the forest. So I moved my bed in that balcony, and with a mosquito net, I'm sleeping much better. Like I was struggling for a week with my sleep because of mosquitoes and too much hot weather. But by just this one small change, that now I sleep in the back balcony in the open, and I am almost like living in the nature, in the forest area, and with a mosquito net, I have no problem. Otherwise, inside I was always struggling with the mosquitoes and my sleep was disturbed. So the small practical interventions are much more relevant and useful.
Thank you very much. And I just want to mention one more thing on air, especially with AC.
Yeah, I would like to add up one more advice in the list of advices for a better quality sleep, because I know it is very important, especially for the senior citizens. So foot massage, this I've been experiencing, really making wonders with a lot of my patients. You can always apply pure coconut oil or a pure cow ghee in your, soles. So foot massage before hitting your bed is also a very effective way to induce a quality sleep and to reduce your anxiety. And to add one more, you can always try one more thing, like soaking your feet, in a warm like water, where you can add some Epsom salt. So these are all the rituals you can perform. I guess more than food, all these rituals can help you to have a better quality of a sleep. So yes, chamomile tea, ashwagandha, they are there for the rescue. But foot massage, soaking your feet in a warm water with Epsom salt, these are also very effective medium to have a quality sleep, especially for the senior citizens.
Thank you, Dr. Reema. And yes, I think we can wind up now. We had a full session. Yeah, we started at 8:05, so we can be excused for 5 minutes. We've done 2 hours, 10 minutes. And I thank all panelists here so much, and also the audience for a wonderful session today. And we look forward to seeing our audience again tomorrow at the same time on the same link for day 4, which our topic tomorrow is healing protocols for spike protein damage. Okay, so for those people who have taken the vaccine and they are getting all sorts of medical conditions and blood clotting and all of that, tomorrow's session is very good for them. So yeah, I wish everybody a wonderful evening. Thank you and God bless being here.